Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you are returning. So today's video, I thought I would talk about my journey to get to Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen, because I think it's important. It's important to know kind of my background and why I'm even doing this. So one morning I woke up, and a couple months ago, and I thought, I'm gonna live to 102. And so for whatever reason, I just hung on to that. So now all I think about is how I'm going to live to 102 and what it's going to be like to live to 102. So because of that, I decided to focus on staying disease free and to staying healthy. So what Dr. Greger's work is all about is that it's staying healthy, staying disease free, so that you can live a long time. So that's why I have adopted Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen and the way that Dr. Greger goes about lifestyle. So this is new to me. I'll explain why. So for a very long time, since I was a teenager, I have focused on my weight and how big I am. And so I am a very short person. I'm only 5'1", so it's easy to look bigger when you're so short. So when I was in high school, I was very active. I was on a field hockey team. I got a letter in field hockey. Like, I played field hockey, and I played other sports as well up until high school. And I had I had a high school coach, on field hockey coach, who told the whole entire team that we were all fat and that we couldn't run and that we all needed to lose weight, which was totally not true at all. And I've coached since then, and I would never say that to the girls that I've coached, because it's so destructive to say that to someone, especially when you're a teenager. So it totally was not true. But I took it to heart, and so I really did think that I was fat, even though I wasn't. And so I just went down a path of trying to stay thin and get thinner. So I have done some pretty destructive things to my body to stay thin, so including chronic dieting. So you can name it, I've pretty much done it. Now, I have never done the carnivore diet because I'm plant-based, and I've been plant-based for almost 20 years. So the carnivore diet back 20 years ago was not a thing. And since I've been plant-based so long, though, I have tried all kinds of different plant-based type diets. I've not tried Weight Watchers, but I know what Weight Watchers is. Anyway, when I became plant-based, everybody says, oh, when you become plant-based, you're going to lose a bunch of weight. And I didn't become plant-based to lose weight, and I didn't lose weight. So that was in the kind of the beginning stages of when plant-based was popular. And I lived in the middle of nowhere there then too, just like I do now, a little more remote than I live now. And so the plant-based options for processed food were very limited. So I mostly ate a whole food plant-based diet, and I was just kind of figuring it out. So, I looked to the big doctors like Dr. McDougall, and Dr. Furman later. And I've tried counting macros. I've tried keto. I've tried vegan keto. I've tried pretty much you name it. I've tried it. So, I have lost 40 pounds in the last 2 years. So part of that was just watching what I was eating and eating less junk food. Part of it was counting macros. But what happened with counting macros is I got to a plateau, and then I couldn't lose any more weight. So basically I stayed at a certain weight for over a year, counting every single macro, putting everything I was eating into MyFitnessPal or Chronometer, and like tracking every single thing I was eating, and I was on a plateau. So when I had this epiphany that I was going to live to 102 and wanted to stay healthy, back this summer, I decided that I was going to change everything that I was doing, and I was going to follow Dr. Greger's advice. So I've been doing that, and I have lost over 10 pounds just since I switched to his plan. Now, his plan for me is not about weight loss. His plan for me is about being healthy and living to 102 in a healthy way. But part of that is you have to be a normal weight to not get some of these lifestyle diseases. So that's one of the things that I'm working on, is getting to a weight. Well, I'm at a weight, but I want to be a little bit lower where I don't have to worry that I'm going to get these lifestyle diseases. So, adopting that Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen in the way that Dr. Greger says to eat has really helped me get closer to my goal, and I just feel better at a little bit lower weight. So I'm excited that I'm on that downward trajectory. I am in no hurry. I weigh myself every single day because he says to do that. It's part of what's in his book, How Not to Diet. Actually, you're supposed to weigh yourself twice a day, but I have a hard time weighing myself in the afternoon or in the evening, so I don't usually. But I do weigh myself every single morning when I get up. After I've used the restroom, I get up, and then I use the restroom, and then I weigh myself every single day. And I used to be obsessed with a number, but now I'm not so obsessed with a number. I just am curious, and it's part of one of the lifestyle changes that you make when you follow Dr. Greger's suggestions. And they're just suggestions, of course, to help with your weight and so that you don't get chronic diseases. So the whole reason I'm saying this is that I pretty much had to change my mindset about weight in general and just about lifestyle in general. So now my whole goal is to be healthy. So I'll do whatever it takes to be healthy and not get lifestyle diseases that people get from not being particularly healthy. So one of the tricks that I do so that I can eat whatever I want is I just say I'm going to eat whatever's on the Daily Dozen list and the 21 tweaks. I'm going to eat all of that food first. And if I'm still hungry, then I will have whatever it is that I want. With one exception. Sometimes I just have a really bad craving for chocolate, so I will eat chocolate. If I feel like, oh my goodness, I just need to have a piece of chocolate, I'll just eat a piece of chocolate. And I mostly right now I'm eating Lily's chocolate, and I will transition from Lily's chocolate as soon as I'm done with it. I don't want to waste it because it has artificial sweeteners in it. It has stevia in it. And stevia is not good for your gut biome, and part of being healthy is having a really good gut biome. So I want to make sure that I'm not doing anything to destroy my biome of my gut. And stevia is not good for that. So I am trying to phase stevia out of my diet. So my coffee, I used to put stevia in my coffee and monk fruit in my coffee. I don't put those in my coffee anymore. I've switched to maple syrup. So I'm from Vermont and I love maple syrup. So maple syrup is my sweetener of choice. It is the only thing that I put sweetener on or in is my coffee. Now I went for many years not drinking coffee. I went for many years drinking coffee black. I just prefer a little bit of sweetener in it. So I work out 90 minutes a day basically at least. And so I don't feel so bad about having a couple teaspoons of maple syrup in my coffee. I burn off those calories. It doesn't make me hungry. Like this morning I did not eat until 10 a.m. my first meal. Now I am not intermittent fasting. I am following Dr. Greger's advice and stopping eating by 7 a.m. But I allow myself to eat whenever I feel hungry when I get up. But normally I get up and then I work out and then I have to get ready for work. So it's a while before I even think about eating. So normally I don't eat until about 9 a.m. and then I finish my eating by 7 p.m. Part of the Daily Dozen. And I'll talk more about that in some future videos. But I just wanted to post this video kind of about my story and how I started and kind of where I'm at, and to talk a little bit about the purpose of my channel. So the purpose of my channel is for you to follow my journey to a healthy 102. And for me to share with you all of the things that I'm doing to stay healthy so that I can be a healthy 102. Now this is a stretch for me because my mom died when she was 40 years old. So for a long time, I thought I was not going to live past 40. Obviously, I've lived past 40. I'm 47 years old now. So, and I'm very healthy. I don't have any chronic problems except for my thyroid, which is probably my own fault from all the dieting I've done and the not eating that I've done. So it's a stretch for me to believe that I can live that long. And my grandmother on my mom's side had Alzheimer's disease and died from Alzheimer's disease. So I have that in my background. And my grandfather, though, on my mom's side died around 92 years old. And I actually think he died from a broken heart because my grandmother was younger than him and she had Alzheimer's. And I really do feel like that he was very healthy, and I feel like he died of a broken heart, which is really sad. And my grandfather on my dad's side died from a lifestyle disease. He was a smoker and a heavy drinker, and he died from a heart attack. And my grandma on my dad's side died from emphysema, and she was a very heavy smoker. So I don't smoke, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm not a heavy drinker, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm really focused on making sure that my lifestyle is as healthy as I can possibly make it without making it miserable, of course. Like, no one's gonna be perfect 100% of the time, and if I feel like eating something, or if it's a special occasion, I'll eat it. Now, of course, I am plant-based. I've been plant-based for 20 years almost, and so I have that down pat. So like, if I want to have a plant-based cake, I'll have a plant-based cake. If I want a plant-based donut like they have at Whole Foods, I'll have one. But I keep my treats pretty much to a minimum. And that's just by my choice. And I, again, don't have much problem avoiding treats at work or wherever, because they're usually not plant-based. So it's easy for me to not partake in those snacks. So again, the purpose of my channel is for you to follow my journey to a healthy 102. And I really hope that you want to come along with me so that you can kind of see what I'm doing, give me advice on what you think I should be doing to get there. And I think I'm off to a good start. 47 years old, don't have any underlying health conditions, and I am a regular worker-outer. I've been a regular worker-outer for at least 15 years. I just enjoy working out, so I just work out. And I get up every single morning and work out. And some mornings I don't want to work out, but I do it anyway. So one of the tips that I do is I just tell myself, okay, on those mornings that I don't want to work out, I just tell myself, okay, just put your sneakers on. I'm from New England. I don't live in New England anymore, but I'm from New England, so I have some New England words that I use. So I'll be like, just put your sneakers on. So I'll just put my sneakers on. And then I'll say, okay, I always start with burpees. So I'm like, okay, you just have to do one burpee. If you don't want to do burpees after this, then don't. So basically, I just like kind of talk myself into keeping working out. And when we go on long bike trips and we go on long hikes, I do the same thing sometimes when I'm not feeling it. And by the middle, towards the end of the workout, I'm totally fine. And it's almost over anyway, and I am ready to move on with my day. Now, one of the things that Dr. Greger says is to do fasted working out, which I just do anyway because I do it when I first wake up for the most part. Every once in a while on a weekend, I'll have breakfast first and then work out, but I don't worry about that. And then I do have that little bit of maple syrup in my coffee, which is so negligible. I think even if you were doing low carb or whatever, I don't even think it would get you out of ketosis, but I'm not sure since I stopped measuring all of that. In my prior video, I did talk about how I don't use my heart rate monitor anymore. So I don't use my heart rate monitor anymore for two reasons. One, I already know how many calories I'm burning from doing the same workout that I do every single day. Like, I don't need to track calories. And when I stopped tracking macros, tracking my calories was really not like a thing that I needed to do. And I was getting obsessed with the calorie number, so I just stopped using it. And it's totally fine. I have it if I ever want to use it again. Sometimes when I go on really long bike rides, that are like 5 hours or something, I do like to know my calorie burn because I have to eat quite a bit more on those days when I do something like that. So I'll just keep it around for that, but I completely have stopped tracking that. And I actually stopped tracking how much time I'm working out. I already know, sort of, because I do it before work, so I know about how long it takes. Anyway, so that's why I stopped wearing my heart rate monitor. I still have it in case I need it. But other than that, the only thing that I track is my weight, and that's because Dr. Greger suggests it in his daily dozen. And I do think it's helpful as long as you can get over being attached to the number that's on the scale if you're within your normal weight range. And I think it's really important to be in your normal weight range if you want to live a long, healthy life. I don't think it's for aesthetics anymore. I don't think anything other than, I think you just need to be in a weight range that's healthy so that you can continue to stay healthy. So anyway, so that's the purpose of my channel. That's why it's called Healthy to 102, because I want to be a healthy 102. And that's my goal, and that's why I'm following Dr. Greger's method, the Daily Dozen and the 21 Tweaks. So I hope you'll stay and you'll follow my channel and follow my journey.